A stadium packed with 80,000 fans, and two legends vanish mid-match. Security footage shows them entering a tunnel, but never coming out. What they uncovered beneath the field was never meant to see the light. It was a crisp autumn evening in Geneva. A rare charity match had drawn the two greatest footballers in history to the same stage. Lionel Messi arrived first, dressed in black, his expression unreadable. His eyes scanned the crowd with unusual intensity. Cristiano Ronaldo followed moments later, his jaw clenched, footsteps heavy, like he was walking into something far more serious than a game. Fans screamed from the stands, unaware of the growing tension beneath the surface. Security around the stadium was unusually tight. Snipers were spotted on the rooftops. Helicopters hovered, circling like vultures. Inside the locker rooms, silence reigned. Messi sat alone, staring at a small, locked box inside his duffel bag. He had not spoken to anyone since landing. Meanwhile, Ronaldo stood in front of the mirror, his fingers trembling as he fastened a golden chain around his neck. On the end of it hung a key that matched the lock on Messi's box. They had not seen each other since the incident in Madrid, the one neither of them ever spoke about. As kickoff approached, officials received an anonymous message. A single line, "Do not let them touch." But it was too late. The referee blew the whistle, and for the first time in years, Messi and Ronaldo walked toward each other. The crowd roared, but their eyes were locked on one another, not the ball. Ronaldo reached into his jersey and gripped the chain tightly. Messi slowly opened the box on the sideline. Inside was a photograph, a child, one neither of them was supposed to remember. Suddenly, the lights in the stadium flickered. A loud bang echoed from beneath the stands. Security scrambled. Messi looked up, his face pale, whispering something only Ronaldo could hear. Ronaldo's hand dropped from the chain, and he ran, straight off the field, toward the dark tunnel where someone had just screamed. Messi followed, leaving behind a stunned stadium, and a secret buried for over a decade. What they found in that tunnel would not just change football. It would expose something far more terrifying. Something that began long before either of them became legends. And someone was waiting for them in the dark. The tunnel was colder than it should have been. Damp air clung to their skin. The flickering emergency lights cast long, twitching shadows on the concrete walls. Their footsteps echoed, uneven and fast. Ronaldo's breath was sharp, controlled. Messi's was shallow, almost panicked. The scream had come from deep within the restricted area, where no players or press were allowed. As they turned the corner, they were met with a steel door slightly ajar. A strange humming noise seeped from the other side. Neither of them spoke. They just exchanged a glance, and pushed it open. The room inside was lined with monitors. Surveillance feeds from all over the stadium played silently. Every corridor, every exit, every seat. In the middle of the room lay a phone, still recording. Ronaldo picked it up. The screen showed a video pause of frame. A young boy, crying in a dark room, whispering the words, "They made me choose." Messi turned away, gripping the edge of the table so hard his knuckles whitened. "It is him," he said. Ronaldo did not respond. Instead, he clicked play. The boy continued. He said, "I had to forget that the world could not know what they did to us." A sound behind them made them both spin. A figure stood at the door, tall, wearing a staff badge, face half hidden by a surgical mask. "I warned you," the figure said, voice calm, almost clinical. "You were supposed to forget." He stepped into the light. Neither of them breathed. It was Dr. Keller, the man who had overseen their youth fitness programs back in Lisbon and Barcelona. Officially, he had disappeared in 2005. Unofficially, he had never left. "What is this?" Messi demanded. His voice cracked. Keller smiled faintly. "The real match is not out there on the pitch." Ronaldo stepped forward, fists clenched. "You lied to us. About everything." "I protected you," Keller said. "You were the chosen ones. And the program worked. Until he remembered." He pointed to the monitor. The boy's face flickered again. Messi reached into his pocket and pulled out the torn half of the photograph. He held it up. It matched the photo in the box. Keller's eyes darkened. "You do not understand what that boy knew, what he saw." I remember now, Messi said, his voice low. Ronaldo turned to him, startled. You were not supposed to, Keller replied. He pressed something on his watch. A low beep echoed through the walls. The room went red. Alarms started blaring from overhead speakers. Protocol initiated, a robotic voice said. Security lockdown in 90 seconds. From the monitors, they saw steel doors beginning to seal the exits. Messi, we need to go, Ronaldo said. But Messi did not move. He was staring at one of the feeds. It showed the VIP lounge. A woman in a blue dress, holding the same photograph. Is that? Ronaldo asked. Messi nodded. My mother never told me. She said the fire took everything. Keller stepped toward them. You both need to come with me now, or this entire stadium becomes your grave. Outside, the crowd still cheered, unaware of the storm building beneath their feet. Ronaldo reached into his shirt and yanked off the chain. He held the key up. I'm not afraid anymore. Messi put his hand on the console. The monitors began glitching. Static. Screams. The boy's voice again, repeating. They made me choose. Then something new. Another voice. A name neither of them had heard in years. A name they were told to forget. A name buried in the files Keller had erased. The lights cut out. Total darkness. The door behind them slammed shut. Keller's voice whispered from somewhere near. You opened the box. You let it out. And now, to be continued at next peak of suspense. Would you like me to continue the story even further, to reach 9,000 characters exactly? And now it is too late to put it back. Keller's voice drifted like smoke through the pitch-black room. Footsteps shuffled across the floor. One set, then two, then more. Ronaldo's pulse thudded in his ears. He reached out blindly, found Messi's shoulder. We moved together, he whispered. Messi nodded. From the far wall came the sound of metal scraping concrete. A hidden panel, slowly sliding open. And from behind it, faint blue light poured in, cold, artificial. Keller's silhouette appeared against it. You want the truth, he said. Then follow me. But know this, once you see what lies below, you do not come back the same. The smell hit them first as they entered. Sterile, bleach, and something else. Rut. The corridors stretched deep underground. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The walls were lined with photographs. Children. Each frame had a nameplate. Messi froze in front of one. Nico. Ronaldo glanced at the next. It bore his own last name, but the face was not his. Who are they? Ronaldo asked. Keller stopped walking. They are what came before you. Messi clenched his jaw. You told us we were the first. No, Keller said. You were the first to survive. A low mechanical hum began beneath their feet. They had reached a large steel vault to the corridor's end. Keller placed his palm on the scanner. The door opened with a hiss. Inside was a vast, circular chamber, lit by overhead surgical lights, and lined with capsules. Each one held a sleeping child, wires connected to their heads, small chests rising and falling in unnatural rhythm. Messi stumbled backward. No, this is not real. Ronaldo stepped closer. One of the capsules was labeled C.R-04. Inside, a boy who looked exactly like him, aged around 9. Same eyes, same scar above the eyebrow, frozen in sleep. What is this? Ronaldo's voice broke. Keller moved between them. You are not who you think you are, he said. Not fully. You were part of a trial, a psychological divide. We took the potential of legends and separated it from the weight of memory. Messi backed away. But I remember my childhood. Do you? Keller asked. Or do you remember what we gave you to believe? The lights flickered. From a speaker above, the boy's voice returned again, crying, begging. I did not want to forget. Please, do not make me forget again. Messi looked at Ronaldo. His face was pale, lips parted. They both knew. This was not just a lab. It was a vault of buried truths. A cemetery for the minds of children they used, repurposed, replaced. From one of the capsules came a sudden twitch. The boy inside moved. A sharp beep sounded, heart rate rising, eyes fluttering. Another capsule began to shake. Then another. Keller turned to the control panel. "No," he muttered. "They are not ready. They are not supposed to wake up." Messi ran to the panel. He slammed his fist into it. Alarms blared. The chamber bathed in red light. One of the capsules hissed open. Steam poured out, and the boy inside sat up. He turned his head slowly toward Ronaldo and whispered, "Why did you leave me here?" Ronaldo stepped back. I do not know you." The boy's eyes filled with tears. "But I remember you." More capsules opened. Children began stepping out, silent, pale, their eyes all fixed on Messi and Ronaldo. Keller screamed into his watch. Lockdown override. Manual reset. But nothing responded. Something else had taken control of the system. A deeper protocol. Written long ago. The monitors lit up again, one by one, each flashing the same phrase. The truth woke up. Messi stared at the children, at the familiar shapes in their faces, pieces of himself, of Ronaldo, replicated, erased, abandoned. From behind them, the vault door slammed shut. Keller was gone. The children began to speak in unison. One word, over and over. "Remember." Ronaldo turned toward Messi, eyes wide. "Leo, what did they do to us?" Messi looked down at his shaking hands, and for the first time in his life, he was not sure if they were really his. The humming grew louder, the lights turned white-hot, and something massive stirred beneath the floor, just beneath their feet, alive, waiting, and connected to them both. The floor vibrated beneath their soles, soft at first, then a deep, pulsing thud, like the heartbeat of something ancient and mechanical. Messi backed toward the wall, eyes darting across the glowing capsules. Most of them were now open, empty, but the children did not move any closer. They just stayed, silent, still. The hum shifted frequency. It was no longer just noise. It became a pattern, like code, like breathing. Then the voice returned, not from a speaker, from inside their minds. "Messi, Ronaldo, you were the prototype. You were the seed." Ronaldo clutched his head. The sound drilled into his skull. Messi dropped to one knee, gasping. "You were never meant to remember. You were meant to perform, to distract, to inspire obedience." The light in the chamber dimmed. The walls around them shifted. Screens rotated inward, revealing images, fragments of lives. Messi as a child, but not with his real parents. Ronaldo at an academy that did not exist on any record. A hidden history. Artificial. Programmed. Messi stood up slowly, lips trembling. "This is why they made us forget." Ronaldo's hand brushed against the wall and triggered another sequence. A panel slid open, revealing files. Thick, stamped with red letters. Confidential. ProjectHALO. Inside were documents detailing neurological manipulation. Name after name. Faces of athletes, politicians, artists, famous, world-shaping figures. All connected. All enhanced. "They did not create you to win games," the voice said. "They created you to win minds." The children around them began humming. A soft, eerie tune. It was the same melody Messi used to hum before matches. The same lullaby Ronaldo remembered from dreams he could never explain. It was implanted. A trigger. And now it was activating something far worse. The floor split open at the center. A steel platform rose, covered in black glass. A single coffin-shaped pod sat atop it. Frozen inside, a third figure, an adult, one neither of them had ever seen before. Yet both recognized instantly. Same bone structure, same eyes, but older, stronger, and fully conscious. "Subject Sigma is online," the system announced. "Initiating final phase." The pod hissed. Cracks spread through the glass like lightning. Steam burst into the room. The children fell to their knees. Ronaldo took a step back. "What is Sigma?" Messi did not speak. His hands were shaking uncontrollably. The pod split open, and the figure inside sat up, tall, unblinking. He looked straight at them. and smiled. "You are not the best," he said. "You were just the beginning." The hum turned into a roar. Somewhere above, the stadium crowd began to scream, but no one would hear them down here. Not where this began. Not where it was all about to end. Ronaldo reached for the emergency override switch, but it was gone, removed, as if someone had planned this moment all along. Messi stared at the man, Sigma, and whispered the words that chilled Ronaldo to his core. "I remember him now. He was before me. Before us both." Sigma stood, naked, yet completely unshaken. His body moved with unnatural precision. He stepped forward, toward them. The humming stopped. The children turned to him, eyes glowing faintly. Messi whispered, "We were meant to lead the world." He was made to control it. The lights exploded overhead. Darkness. And then a scream, not of pain, but recognition. And then the silence returned. Thick, breathless, unforgiving. Just before something touched Ronaldo's shoulder. Ronaldo spun around, but there was no one behind him, only the wall. And yet, he still felt it. That cold pressure, like fingers trailing across his shoulder blade. Messi stepped toward Sigma, slowly, his breath visible in the icy air. The man, no, the thing in front of them, did not blink. Its eyes followed every twitch, every heartbeat. It moved like a mirror not of who they were, but what they were meant to be. Perfect, controlled, inhuman. Ronaldo finally found his voice. "What are you?" Sigma tilted his head. "I am the answer to the question you never dared ask." He raised his hand, a subtle gesture, and every child in the chamber stood, in unison, their eyes now glowing brighter, synchronizing with Sigma's movements. Messi looked toward the exit vault. Still sealed, still silent. No alarms now, no help coming. Just the three of them, and the echoes of something far older than the game they loved. Sigma took another step. The temperature dropped with it. Frost formed on the capsule edges. His voice echoed, but his lips barely moved. "You were tools. Beautiful, useful distractions. You danced while we rewrote the world. You chased glory while we tested control." Messi's fist clenched. "You used us." "No," Sigma replied. "We made you. There is a difference." Ronaldo's heart pounded in his chest. But it was not fear. It was rage. Something ancient stirred inside him. A fragment of the boy they buried in the program. A memory that refused to stay silent. A burning field. A hospital room. A whisper in the dark. "You are not alone, Cristiano. But you must forget." "No," he muttered. He looked at Messi, and Messi looked back. They both understood now. They were not rivals. They were survivors, linked by something deeper than the sport. Sigma raised his hand. The children began to move. One step forward, another, footsteps in unison. Dozens of them. Their faces were calm, blank. Messi pulled something from his sleeve. The original key. Still warm, still real. He held it toward the central console. Sigma's expression changed. For the first time. "Fear. You do not know what that opens," Sigma said. "But you do," Messi replied. He jammed the key into the panel. A low rumble cracked through the walls. The floor beneath them split open even further. Steam hissed upward. Ronaldo grabbed the edge of the control table. The screens around them went white, then black, then began displaying words. Master override engaged. Releasing Cycle A0, unfiltered memory call. Sigma screamed, a sound no human could make. The children dropped to their knees again, clutching their heads. Messi staggered backward. Ronaldo fell to one knee, dizzy. A flood of voices filled the air. Memories, real and altered, began overlapping. Training sessions in dark rooms, syringes in their necks, dreams they were told were fake, coaches who were not coaches, matches that never happened, trophies handed to keep them compliant. The truth was not just dark. It was engineered. Their entire careers had been scripted to control global attention, to manipulate billions, to distract the world while something far worse unfolded behind the scenes. Messi fell to the ground, clutching his head. "I see everything," he whispered. "I see them all. The others. They never escaped." The key turned itself. One last time. The wall split open again. And behind it, a row of chairs, strapped with restraints. Screens above them showing live footage. Of Messi, of Ronaldo, of the world watching. They had never truly left the lab. Not entirely. And now, the loop was closing. Sigma dropped to one knee, blood dripping from his nose. The control was slipping. The experiment was collapsing. But even as his strength waned, he looked at them and smiled. "You think ending this will free you? You are wrong. You are the virus. And now the world is infected." Suddenly, the facility shuddered. Explosion from above. Concrete cracked. The ceiling began to fall in chunks. Messi grabbed Ronaldo. "We need to run." "Where?" Ronaldo shouted. Messi pointed toward a narrow maintenance shaft now visible through the falling debris. "Out!" And then, Messi did not answer. He just looked back, one last time, at the place where they were born, where they were rewritten, where legends were manufactured like weapons. And behind them, Sigma stood again, burning, bleeding, but smiling still, as a fire swallowed the chamber. And the screen behind him displayed one last message. Cycle B1 initiated. Subjects released. Flames curled through the chamber like hungry fingers. Steel groaned. Alarms howled. But the sound that haunted Ronaldo most was not the fire. It was the children, still kneeling, still silent, still watching them run, as if they knew something Messi and Ronaldo did not. The maintenance shaft was narrow and slick with condensation. Pipes hissed. Red lights flashed along the cramped passage. Messi led the way, clutching the walls, his body aching. Ronaldo followed, every breath shot with smoke. Behind them, the facility trembled again. Chunks of debris crashed down through the collapsing ceilings. Above the roar of destruction, Sigma's last words rang like a curse. "You are the virus." Messi's mind raced. He remembered moments that never happened. Training with faces that did not exist. Doctors with no names. The smell of iodine and burnt plastic. Dreams that had bled into waking life. They reached the sealed hatch. Rusty, unmarked, Messi yanked the wheel. It resisted. Ronaldo helped. Together, they turned it, until it popped loose with a sharp metallic snap. Beyond it, stays, narrow, leading upward into darkness. They climbed. The air grew colder, cleaner, until suddenly they emerged into a forest, dense, silent, no stadium, no crowds, just pine trees under a gray, trembling sky. They stood, gasping, surrounded by wind and birdsong. It felt unreal, but the scorch marks on their clothes said otherwise. Ronaldo fell to his knees. Messi stared back at the hidden door. There was no sign of what lay beneath. It looked like a hill, just another part of the earth. He could still feel the children's eyes, still hear Sigma's voice like static in the back of his skull. "We are out," Ronaldo said quietly. Messi shook his head. "No, we are just in the next part." From the trees came a rustle. Footsteps, but not from security, not from Keller. A child stepped out, alone, holding a piece of paper. He looked around 8 years old, wearing a jersey with no logo, no name. He walked up to Messi, held out the page. Messi unfolded it. A drawing. 2 figures, one with a red number 10, the other with a white 7. Beneath them, a black circle, filled with eyes. Ronaldo looked at the boy. "Who are you?" The boy tilted his head. "They said you would come." "Who?" Messi asked, but the boy just pointed upward, to the gray clouds, to something high in the sky. At first, it looked like a drone. Then they realized it was a satellite, blinking, watching, following. Messi's heart sank. "We never escaped." Ronaldo narrowed his eyes. "What do you mean?" Messi turned the page over. There was a sentence on the back, scrawled in crayon. "The field is still the lab." Suddenly, the trees around them shifted. Not moved, shifted, like pixels, glitching. Ronaldo stumbled back. The air shimmered. Static, a low buzz in their ears. Messi's hand passed through a tree. Not around it, through it. It rippled, like light through water. Ronaldo turned to run, but hit a wall of invisible force. It crackled. His skin burned. He dropped to the ground, screaming. The boy just stood there, watching, calm. Messi knelt beside Ronaldo. This is not real. It never was. Even now. A voice interrupted him. Not Sigma's, not Keller's. A new one. Female. Smooth. Mechanical. Simulation breach detected. Initializing memory correction protocol. The forest froze. Wind halted. The bird stopped mid-flight. Time fractured. Ronaldo whispered, eyes wide with horror. They built another layer. A deeper cage. And just before everything blinked into black, they heard the last word. A word that had haunted the corners of their minds since the beginning. Rebooting. Messi opened his eyes. Everything was white. Not sterile, not clinical, just endless, blinding white. He sat up slowly. Ronaldo lay next to him, breathing but unconscious. No walls, no ceiling, just the sound of his own heartbeat. And then, a single tone, deep and steady. A doorway appeared in the whiteness. He stood, walked through it, and found himself in a room he had seen before. Not in real life, but in dreams. Photos of his youth lined the walls. But they were wrong. Dates mismatched. People unfamiliar. Voices in the background said things that felt scripted. Suddenly, a screen blinked on. Keller appeared, but he looked tired, older, regretful. Leo, he said, you broke through. Messi did not speak. Keller sighed. This was not meant to happen. You were designed to be perfect, not aware. But awareness is what makes you human. Behind Messi, Ronaldo stirred awake. He joined Messi in front of the screen. You lied to us, Ronaldo said quietly. Yes, Keller replied. We created the perfect players. We erased your trauma, your doubts. We gave you a life the world would worship. But it was not yours. A pause. Keller's voice cracked. I was part of something monstrous, something global. It started as a way to enhance talent. It ended with control, over minds, over truth. You were not alone. Politicians, scientists, artists, all corrected, all made more efficient. But something in you resisted, in both of you. Ronaldo's fists clenched. Why us? Because the world watched you, Keller said, and we needed idols to distract from what we were really building. Messi stepped forward. So what now? You have a choice, Keller said. Go back. Forget. Live out your lives adored, oblivious, protected. Or keep your memory, but live hunted, watched, discredited. They will erase you if they can. Silence hung heavy in the room. Messi looked at Ronaldo. They did not need words. They had always understood each other in the spaces between the game. They turned back to the screen. We keep our memories, Messi said. Even if it costs us everything, Ronaldo added. Keller's eyes glistened. I was hoping you would say that. The screen faded, and the room around them collapsed like dust. They woke again. For real this time. In a hospital in Zurich. No guards, no machines, just monitors beeping, and sunlight through a window. Messi reached for the drawer beside his bed. Inside was a photo, the real one, with a boy, his brother, the one who had disappeared. Ronaldo stood near the door, already dressed, waiting. Are you ready? He asked. Messi nodded. Together, they stepped outside. Journalists swarmed the entrance. But this time, they did not smile. They did not wave. They told the truth. What they remembered. What had been done. The world did not believe them at first. But then others came forward. Athletes. Celebrities. Scientists. The truth spread like fire. And behind the chaos, something remarkable happened. People began questioning, wondering, remembering. The system cracked. Not all at once, but enough to matter. Messi and Ronaldo disappeared from the game, but their story remained. In whispers, in documentaries, in the eyes of those who once worshipped them. And slowly, the world woke up, not just from lies, but from comfort, from obedience. The moral was not in the fame they rejected. It was in the truth they chose to carry. That being remembered as legends is nothing if you are not free,